Alright, friends and neighbors, welcome to another Subnautica stream. Ideally, we won't get cut off this time. And also ideally, we'll end up with, I'm shooting for a multi-purpose room. And if not, maybe I'll just start making random tubes. Because I feel like, at a certain point, we just have to maintain. Why are you loading a Cyclops? I don't have a Cyclops. This load screen is kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, I get it. It's a pretty game. But I feel like there should be some preloading. I'm not a really great computer person, but I feel like there should be like a quick load option from Steam so that you download the majority of everything and then it doesn't have to do all this business. I might regret that later. Talking to my techie people. Whoa, what's going on there? Huh. Okay, so I remember from last time that is my grab trap making that super annoying sound. I actually might have to move my grab trap just because of that. You know what? I have a whole bunch of you. I don't know if I need to. I just feel like it keeps giving them to me, and so I just have to hoard them. Alright, and we should drink something. I'm not totally sure what I want to do. I should get rid of some of these batteries that are 0%. I've got gold, I've got that. I mean, if I had been paying more attention before I joined up here, I might. Okay, I can't even handle this grab trap sound. We're going to move the grab trap. I don't even care. I mean, I guess I care how many fishes I have. I should probably grab you guys. At least, like, the bladder fishes seem important. I don't have enough salt for the boomerang fish, so really, I might just let him. Ah. You can't let him go that close to the grab trap. Makes sense. I'm sure he was excited for just a second. And in this case, get this, it actually kind of works like a boomerang, right? Like you get close to the grab trap, and then it sort of does boom. Alright. I feel like I'm just continually catching. I'm sorry, let's go. Let's have our grab trap be... Like, I want it to be within sight, but I can't handle that buzzing. Let's put it here. This seems like a good spot. Maybe not here. This is a nice spot. Seems like a great spot for a grab trap, right? Right. Let's do it. Right there. Yes. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. As it turns out, you can collect limestone and metal salvage with your grab trap, so that's good news. Good to know. I'm not totally putting my collection of floating stuff. Now, what I do appreciate about my escape pod is that even though I thought it was moving before, it doesn't actually move from where I was. Alright, we should have checked for messages. They're always sad, but, you know. Do I have any... I guess we'll make some cooked boomerang. Really for no reason. And then we will hate again that this has no crafting queue. Like, of all the things to not have, in such a high-tech and really beautiful game, I don't understand why you would want to leave out a crafting queue. But, you know what? Maybe I'm just Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the weird one here. Have a habitat builder, so that's cool. Ooh, propulsion cannon. And of course we should make some more titanium. Okay. I think that's all the things we can make for now. And I'm gonna eat you because you're gonna go bad anyways. Wow, a nutrient block is kind of a big deal. We'll hang on to that. I suppose we can leave some of our food in here. Copper. Drink some water. And I forgot to drop off you guys. We should take you. And I guess I'll take you because I have a container for you as well. And I don't know. I guess we should probably make, I mean, I could make a battery. We've got 2 batteries left. We'll probably get okay for batteries. Store our titanium in an empty box somewhere. And our glass. And why not the lead? Okay. Why not some food here? So, one of the things I do not know how to make yet. Oh, I know how to make you. I've got lead. And I don't have a power cell. I have glass. I know how to get lubricant. And I know how to get a titanium ingot. So I guess I could do that. Huh. This is annoying. I guess I don't know what's easier. I mean, I definitely do not have the, like, I don't have the scans for a multi-purpose room, so there's that. I can make a ladder, so that's cool. So maybe what I really should, I can make myself a trash can, and I can dispose of nuclear waste, so that's pretty rad. Oh, and I can make signs, so that's pretty cool too. I don't know, maybe I should focus on making a sea moth instead of some of this other stuff. I guess I could live in the tiny life pod for a little bit longer. A rebreather would be cool as well. I have fiber mesh. I need to make a wiring kit. So both of those things require a wiring kit and a power cell. So I've got 2. I could already make a power cell. Wow, I might be... How close am I to this? I can make titanium ingots. I learned about that. I can make a power cell. I've got a couple of batteries. I have lead and I have glass. I just need some lube. I know that this brings us off track from our previous mission of a multi-purpose room and stuff, but I think, oh, you know what, we should just do this. I think having a sea glider is going to be really cool, because then when those, like, super creepy fish that, like, talk to you and tell you all the stuff that you can do, or, like, what your primary mission is in life. I don't know how many of these things I actually need. My inventory is full, so that's how many I need. When they tell you that your primary mission in life is to, like, make them happy or whatever, and then they, like, eat you with their super cute, weird face, I feel like I'd rather be in a sea glider when that happens. Okay. We're gonna fabricate. We're gonna make lube. We're gonna make more. I don't actually know how much we need for this, like, sea glider situation. And I really want to make a power cell. Oh, I know how to do that. Let me go get my silicon rubber. Hey. Okay. I think I need that, and I need those. And because I have copper in there, I at least want some acid mushrooms. Really, I should just be carrying those around all the time. Alright, we're gonna be just super productive. This is... excuse me. This is cool. Alright. We may as well, because those seed clusters take up so much space, it's ridiculous. Oh, you can make like 1 lubricant per seed cluster. I should remember that business. Okay, power cell. Now, we have to remember to make more batteries. I need more acid mushrooms. Will do. This way the sea glider doesn't die. And what can I make here? That's cool. Now, I feel like I should be able to make my thing now. Do I need to use the, like, habitat maker business? Okay, gotta go get lead and glass and my titanium ingot. Let's go. Lead, glass, and titanium ingot. I'm sure whoever knows how to label these things, we should make definitely more batteries. Oh yeah. Do we need more glass? How much glass do I need? I can look. Okay, and then we still need titanium ingot. We're getting there. I didn't miss titanium ingot somewhere, did I? I think I saved it somewhere. I feel like... haha! You guys were making fun of me. But in reality, I was just preparing to build my very first submarine. Oh, I could make a mobile vehicle bay. Do I have to have a mobile vehicle bay to have a sea moth? Fabricates vehicles from raw materials. Am I gonna have to make another one of those things? That seems... I guess if I'm making vehicles, we should do it. Wow, this is like the longest thing we've ever made. Okay. So... do I need like my entire inventory to pick this sucker up? I guess we'll just put... okay. Let's go... release the vehicle bay. Okay. I will do that. Ready, set, yes. Look at that. Oh, alright. And it has its own little drones. That's cool. Okay, this is great. I only require 1 mobile vehicle bay. Okay, I'm on board with this. Now I need all of those things again. I mean, this makes sense to me, I guess. I've got plenty of lube. I need some glass. Need another titanium ingot. I need to make another power cell. Remind me, the power cell is like 2 batteries, right? Yes, probably. Let's see. 2 batteries and some rubber. Okay. Okay. So, gonna make 2 more batteries, and that means you. What? Oh, I need 2 more acid mushrooms. I got you. Acid mushrooms are kind of my specialty. Okay. Now I should be able to make oh, I need. Oh, and I have a message too. I need you. Great. Now, before I go do this message, I want to make this. And you can pick up my lead, glass, and titanium ingot. Do I have any glass in here? Glass, lead, and let's go get a titanium ingot. Now, do I remember which one of these things it was in? I do not. For you? Yes, it is. Alright, to the mobile vehicle bay. Okay, I'm sorry. I get so caught up in this, but like once we have this, I want to tell you, I don't know, tell you a story about something. I'm sure it'll be great. Yes. We have a behemoth.
But remember that swimming is good for your glutes and endorphin levels.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm super dark. At least from my viewpoint on the screen. But I suppose. Alright. You know what? I didn't even see what happened to the behemoth. I was too worried. Oh, there it is, the seamoth. She gave me some... Wow. Now, does this thing run on power cells? Am I going to have to just have like a... Wow. That's really cool. That's cool. Okay, now does this thing run? It sounds so much better without. This is really cool. Cool. Okay, now that's really exciting, but I want to make sure that it doesn't like run on. I bet you it runs on power cells. Oh no, another distress call.
In light pod 19. The captain is gone. I have assumed command. The last thing the captain did was give me coordinates for dry land. We regroup 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. Stay together and good luck. This message will now repeat.
Okay.
Rendezvous coordinates corrupted.
Oh.
Transmission origin coordinates downloaded. Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Okay, so that means I should have okay, and we'll head just 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. That seems like something that I would need the seamoth for. Remember, swimming is good for your glutes and endorphin levels. Yeah, because, you know, you're never gonna find companionship on, you know, a meaningful level on Subnautica if you don't have great looking glutes. And I mean, if your endorphin levels are bad, that's also sad. Hi, how are you, Lewis? Welcome. I built my first sea moth. I'm pretty excited. I guess I don't need one of those. I'd really love to build a base, but I don't have anything. Look, isn't it beautiful? Alright, so I guess we should go this way. I am doing pretty well. I spent the majority of the day outside. I don't know, do I really want to? Yeah, we may as well go that way. Maybe I can scan some stuff too. Do I have too much in my inventory? That's bad. Ah, we're probably fine. Oh, we should drink stuff. my plan was to come up with something interesting to talk about once I got here, and I'm sure it'll happen. But until then, explodey guys, not fun. Until then, I can just talk about how my brother went through a period of his life. I already have a seat life. Where he, like, with his fancy job and everything, ended up buying, like, every game console that was out at the time. Which meant he had an Xbox, we had a PlayStation 2, we had a GameCube, which I know kind of shows my age a little bit, in terms of, like, what was new. And so we would play games all the time. He also got a bunch of, like, movies and stuff like that. And so we were always watching something or always playing something. But he also was not a very patient person. And so what it ended up happening was he would buy a game that he was interested in, and then he would buy the game guide as well. And my job as the little sister was to read the game guide to him while he played the game. Which, like, looking back, I don't want more titanium. You know, like, that's clearly a ridiculous situation, but I was just excited to be a part of the whole thing. And also, I was sort of under the understanding that once he was done playing the game, that I would get to play the game. But what ended up kind of happening instead was that he would play the game and then he would trade the game in at GameStop and come back with another game. But, oh, Muppet Fish. I think I was young enough and I was dumb enough to be okay with it. He also did this thing for a long time where like, he would buy an iTunes card and then he would make a list of all the songs he wanted downloaded, and then he would give me that list and he would say, you know, he'd buy like a $25 gift card and he'd give me a list of like 22 or 23 songs, and he'd be like, if you go put this card into iTunes and download these songs for me, then you can have the last 2 songs. And I thought this was the best deal ever. So it worked out. I built my music library and my gaming experience all in one, and it worked out really well. But now, look at me, I have my own game library. I'm playing Subnautica by myself. No game guides. Taking a little bit longer than normal people, but you know, it's whatever. This is a really deep area. Full of, I don't know what it's full of. I mean, it's full of water. You know what? I bet you the sea moth would be really helpful for this. This feels like I'm lost. I'm feeling regrets. Okay. Okay. It's only 300 meters, but it's like 300. You know what? I'm going to go get this sea moth. I can't. Okay. Alright, thanks. I'm glad you agree. I think it's going to be... This just seems like a better idea all around. Let's see. So I did read about in a conversational thing, that when you're the only one talking, probably something interesting is to talk about near-death experiences. So that's kind of my next idea. as we're traveling to go to this other pod, if that pleases the court. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I only have one interesting near-death experience, aside from a few, like, times driving. But I feel like A, everyone has those, and B, I would be playing into some pretty hefty stereotypes to describe me as a woman driver almost dying. So I'm going to tell you about the time that I went backpacking in the middle of northern Wisconsin with a music major and a 15-year-old who had to go backpacking as part of a class project. So my friend, my best friend growing up, she is, well, I guess like a backstory to this is, I still have lots of fun. I mean, I guess I have plenty of time to nearly die. I'm really concerned that if the sea moth dies on the, should I make another power cell? I feel like, let me look. Okay, first I should probably drop off some titanium. But I kind of want to, maybe I'll make another power cell. What do I need? What do I need for that? But like backstory on my best friend is that like we went camping, her and I, together one time on the lake that my grandfather lives on. And we spent the night, and I mean, it's a pretty safe area. I mean, there's animals, but it's not like, it's a pretty safe place. Like there have been bears there. There's, you know, it's a genuine forest, but it's not like ridiculous. And so her and I went camping out there one night, and she basically didn't sleep the whole time because she was really concerned that there were going to be bears, and then we accidentally camped on top of like a chipmunk nest or something, and so you know, they came home and she was really distraught by that situation. And so she wasn't like the best camper ever, but she had, and I mean, I was not, I'm no Bear Grylls, but like I'm fairly okay at being outside. And so I was trying to comfort her, and I was like, no, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And she's like, but what if there are bears? What are we going to do? And I was like, well, we don't have any food because we're just out here for the night. And then, like, as soon as we wake up in the morning, we're literally going to go back to my grandparents' house to eat breakfast. Like, we just have our little DVD player and our tent and, like, a bunch of dresses because we love to take pictures in the middle of the woods. And so we watched Pride and Prejudice on this little DVD player, and she kept pausing it, like, every time she heard something. And then, like, there were some deer who, like, crossed, we were at, like, a low part of, like, there's, like, a, I don't know, it's, like, a lake, and then there's, like, this creek sort of thing that kind of went through, like, pretty wide, like, you could canoe through it, a canoe through creek, I don't know, less than, like, a river, an inlet, I don't know what you call those things. I wouldn't call it a creek, necessarily, because you could canoe through it, but anyways, lake, creek thingy, and then, like, we called it a lagoon, but it was, like, less of a lake. And so some deer kind of crossed through in the shallows, and then she like freaked out, and then there was like a raccoon that was like chattering, and like typical forest night noises, and she kept pausing. Like, what was that? Was that a bear? And I happened to have, I worked at Walmart at the time, and I happened to have my box cutter, I've stopped doing the game. I had my box cutter from work with me as sort of a like, if we needed to do anything situation. And I was like, don't worry, if there's a bear, I'll protect us with my box cutter and it'll be fine. And she took that as like, okay, well, we'll be safe because she has a box cutter. And like, I really appreciate that level of confidence that she put in me, like, but, I wanted to go canoeing in the dead of night and look up at the stars because you're in the middle of the forest. It's, like, so gorgeous out there. Like, and this was also northern Wisconsin, fairly near to where we were hiking, but still several miles away. And, So this is the girl that, like, a few years later still had not really been outside a lot, had been dancing a bunch and doing a really fabulous job. She's a wonderful, wonderful dancer, very talented musician, like, all kinds of awesome. But she came to me and was like, yeah, so my little sister, who is also in similar, you know, straits in terms of, like, family, upbringing, and outdoor experience and capability, she was taking a, like, backpacking class. Do I need to make another storage thingy? I probably do. Yeah, I do. That means I need to take titanium from you. Actually, I'll take titanium from inside. And she's like, yeah, she needs to, and I guess we'll call her, what should we call her? We'll call her, Anne. Young Anne. Needed to actually go backpacking to fulfill the requirements of her backpacking course, which I think makes a lot of sense. So she had to, like, plan out a trip and do, like, actually go on this trip, which I think is pretty cool. I needed 4. And so she had, like, a pretty good plan, and, like, she really only needed, did I just put titanium back into that container? She really only needed to go for, like, a night. Like, she really just needed to go to, like, your local forest preserve and just, like, walk a few miles in and, like, pitch a tent and then sleep, and then you didn't even really need to spend the night. But, like, you just, you know, like, as soon as midnight hit, or if you wanted to, like, really push it, you could go until, like, first light and, like, have stayed awake the whole night, like, at a campfire just telling stories and eating s'mores. And, but she decided that what we should really do is hike 30 miles over the course of, like, a 3-day-ish weekend, leave on a Friday night and get back on a Monday. And she decided that we should take our car up, and so along the, like, the Ice Age Trail, I don't know if you know this, but it goes, like, kind of straight down through the Midwest, and it's kind of follows the path of glaciers from the age of yore, and, yay. You know, it's funny, I just used all my leftover titanium here to, like, put it in there. But you know what? I feel good about what we've done. We're going to take the steam off now that we have a power cell. We're going to go to the... Oh, there's one of you guys. That one. There it is. So she's like, we're just going to hike, the 3 of us together, in the dead of nowhere for 3 days. And we're going to park at the beginning of the area that we're going to go. We're going to, and she planned out, like, the places that we were going to hike to and, like, camp at along this trail. It's a well-known trail, so we were hiking, like, a real sort of trail, but it's not a very well-traveled trail, necessarily. I mean, like, a lot of people go on it, but it's not something that, like, tons of people are on every day. Like, you don't just pass people. And so... pretty novice backpackers, we're going to do this, and it's going to be our very first hike of the year. Like, we're not going to build up to this. And so she planned everything out. Like, she told me I could bring some clothing. Seriously, are you following me? She told me, like, I could bring whatever clothing. She was going to pack the food, and then I could bring a couple of, like, personal items, like a sleeping bag and, like, a deck of cards, but really we had to keep, like, the weight low, and she was in charge of bringing, like, everything else. And so, like, I couldn't even pack my own hiking socks. Like, I show up and she's like, here, I got you these socks, and they were, like, dollar store hiking socks, that were not super comfortable. This is freaky. Did I just end up going at night? Am I doing this at night? Is that what I just decided to do? Is this... I did. I know that this game isn't real, and so I understand that I shouldn't be freaked out by going into this in the dark. And I know that I have specific points that I can shoot for and yet I don't want to go into the deep, deep, dark ocean. Thank you for affirming me. I'm just gonna wait until daytime. I just feel like there's enough, like, that business with the, like, random fishes just beating up against the outside of my submarine, that freaks me out a little bit. Honestly, I feel like Chad, who is my character that I have named, should, as soon as he found land, he needed to just move in. He needed to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna, like, cozy up to the giant, like, building cannon thing, and we're just gonna hang here until a rescue comes. And, like, I get that the freaky, like, four-legged, like, face sucker replicator crabs are a part of the land that's here. This is like Minecraft. Okay, thank you. See, I appreciate that. Is it... wait. It really looked like it was daytime. Okay, now I know that there are parts of the ocean that just don't get light. Okay, there's the giant moon thing. Can I just chill here for a minute? Is it gonna be okay? It's kind of a nice rocky outcropping. Okay, so Anne planned this fabulous backpacking trip. I showed up and I had some, like, iodine tablets so we could purify water, and she was like, no, don't even worry about it. My, like, backpacking teacher person gave me like a water purifying pump thing. I haven't tested it, but it's gonna be fine, I'm sure, because she gave it to me. And don't bring your iodine tablets because we want to, like, make sure that we keep our backpacks as light as possible, which I feel like iodine tablets, you know, whatever. And I can't, and like, so my socks and my iodine tablets were out, and it turned out that those two things might have saved us the whole near-death experience really all together in some ways. And my friend, who we'll call Elizabeth, I feel like the nighttime is lasting a really long time. I'm not that deep, so it can't be. She had been told, like, make sure that you bring some, like, clothing that is, like, waterproof of some kind. Like, you don't really necessarily need to have, like, a rain suit, but something that's, like, at least, like, quick dry and, like, definitely water, like, repellent. And she showed up and she was like, I have these pants and they're, like, waterproof, and I was like, they don't look super waterproof. She was like, don't even worry about it. And I was like, okay. And you know, so off we go. And so those are the, like, several foreshadowing situations. Is it daytime now? It seems like daytime. Let's surface and find out. It's not. It's not daytime. I just really want it to be daytime. Here's that. This is the prettiest moon. I like looking at this one. I guess I could go drop off these things that I picked up. So, like, we check off and we show up. It's like a 2.5 hour drive to get to, like, the launch point, like, where we start our hike off. And we're all really excited. We've got, like, these really heavy backpacks, but, you know, it's whatever. We're off to the races. And we hike for several hours, and we're, like, totally having a blast out in the middle of the woods, completely alone, singing at the top of our lungs, just 3 girls having a ball, you know? And, like, we don't even notice like, I don't know if you hike much, but like your feet can get really soft, I guess. Like if you don't hike regularly and you just don't have like the calluses and everything on your feet, like even from like just wearing shoes for a long period of time and like hiking and stuff, especially if you're wearing like wool socks. If you don't have the right socks and your feet are really soft because you haven't hiked that year very much, you can end up like getting blisters. And this is a thing that we didn't even consider when we like set off in our like horrible socks to hike 30 miles. And so by the time we stopped for our first meal on the very first day, Anne and I both had like, oh, I can upgrade my thing. I didn't need to do that, but alright, it's light, we can go. We both had like silver dollar sized, where is this thing? Blisters, like huge, like open, terrible, silver dollar sized blisters on our heels, like just ginormous. And they hurt so bad by the time we noticed it that like we couldn't even wear our shoes anymore. And so we were like 9 miles in by this point, maybe 6. I might be exaggerating. It was a lot of miles. Like it was enough miles that we were like, we can't go back. Like aside from the like, you started this and you should finish it situation. What is that? That's really cool looking. And like that this was for her class and that we felt prepared and everything. Like we should have turned back right at that point because our feet were going to be pretty much useless. Oh. Oh. Okay. So this is tough. So I have to upgrade this thing? So I can't even go down there, Lewis. So I have to upgrade it. Okay. Oh, and you know what's funny? Is it even says that it's 300 meters deep. Is that what it's saying to me? It is what it's saying to me. So... am I gonna swim at 300 meters deep? That freaks me out. Am I not gonna be able to, am I gonna be able to breathe there? Is it on the other side of this thing? Okay, now I've lost it. With the sea life. Oh, I guess. All the reasons I never took up scuba diving are like flashing before my eyes right now. Also, the near-death experiences with driving is one of those, like... it's because some terrible alien killed all of them. So here's the thing. I don't want to become part of the reason why the biodiversity here is unusually low. Why does the computer just say ominous things and then not help me? Alright. Well... we're gonna save. And somehow that doesn't make me feel any better. We'll drink some water, I guess. Shoot, I forgot to like pack more water. That's dangerous. Okay, kids. Okay. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased. Here's a thing. That's really what I wanted.
Integrating new PDA data.
What's this?
New blueprint acquired.
Did I get a multi-purpose room blueprint? Because that's what I really wanted.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Okay, and now I want out. Is there anything else I should have gotten down there? I don't care. I'm still just freaked out. I just feel like something huge and horrible is going to come out of there, and it's going to get me, and I'll get eaten, and I'll be sad. Yes, thank you. It's good to be back. Go. Okay. We made it. It's fine. We did it. It was just like you said. It was fine. Oh, wow. That's not actually where I wanted to go, but it's difficult to know which way is up right now. Yeah. No, it's a rush. I feel like I've accomplished a thing. Okay, so should I just go to dry land now without even going back home? Yeah, let's do it. We're adventurers. You know what we're going to do? Because we're adventurers, we're going to save. Just caution to the wind. Wow. This is pretty rad. Underwater. Let's see what it looks like up here. Whoa. Okay, so now what I remember is there are scary things that live near the land. Hey, there's more of those Balboa trees. Baobab, trees. More trees. Nope. Look! It's the cliffs of insanity! Alright. They can't go up our way. They'll have to sail around for hours to find it. I don't know if you've ever landed crab things. Crab things are really the biggest problem with land so far. Also giant turret buildings. That's a little sad. But the giant turret is really only a problem if you are a spaceship, which I am not. Okay. How did you guys get onto the island? Did they just swim really fast up? I'm kind of waiting for one of those crab things to just like jump off. And like try and get me. Like, do you think I could get up like right there? I don't think I could. Hey. Okay. Great working job. We're good at this. I guess aliens could be a problem. Alright. We should go chop some trees because I forgot water. Are those trees different? They can't be that different. Uh-oh. They are different. I need a little one. Where are the little ones? A bulbo tree, yeah. That. Oh, and it's telling me my inventory is full. Consume. Now we're waiting for water. We should eat some more. Aha! And we're full. Alright. Now... Oh! There's so many of them, though. Oh, I don't want to go that way. Okay, and you know what? It's okay. We stayed fairly close. We're gonna be fine. We are gonna be fine. We're just gonna run right past them. They're not even gonna see us. They're just gonna keep skittering. Those are really pretty. You can't let your guard down even for a second here. They show up and they just attack you when you're just looking at the flowers. They're sneaky buggers. What are you? Can I eat it? Oh. What are you? Okay. I'm not really looking to start a greenhouse just yet. Okay. Big cavern thingy. Well, valley. Whoa! Why didn't you tell me there was like a super cool entry point underneath the giant island in the middle? This is like right out of the sci-fi. Like, this is super James Bond. That's cool. Also, it's beautiful. If it weren't for the crab thingies, I mean, I'm not saying I'd like to build like a summer home here, but the trees are quite beautiful. Alright. Unless this is like when the Millennium Falcon landed inside that like random cavern place in on that asteroid, or what they thought was the asteroid, and it turned out that it was actually the inside of like a giant worm mouth. That's what this could be. Like, if it's just, but only there's a thing that lives down there. Alright.
Integrating new PDA data.
We're okay. New PDA data. Now I should have, maybe I have the like plans for a, what's it called? This is really cool. I'm just a little concerned about something being in the water. What are you? Alien flora sample. I guess I should scan it. Oh, Dallas would be so mad. I haven't been scanning anything. Now will it tell me what it's good for? Inedible. Well, we're gonna drop it then. But if you can't eat the mushrooms, you should really leave them alone. They can kill you. More mushrooms, more mushrooms. What a cool tunnely thing. This is, I mean, also, now that we're fine, this also is a little bit out of Moana, which is a less tense show than Star Wars. Okay, this is a really pretty island. I don't understand why my person, I mean, like, there's lots of other terrible dangers underwater, including running out of air. So I don't understand why Chad didn't say, you know what, as soon as we find land, we're just gonna live on it. Like, I could definitely have used all this titanium to build, like, a decent shelter to protect myself from the horrible crab things. Like, that just seems... like, maybe he came from, like, a water plant. Like, I don't understand what the... I mean, unless there are land aliens that I'm not seeing that really make this island unsafe at night. Like, if I stay here past dark, am I just gonna instantly die by the aliens? Like, are they just gonna... they're just really stealthy? Oh, it didn't work. We should scan this thing. I meant to. I meant to the whole time. Oh, can't scan that tree. Maybe later I'll find out what to do with those. Oh! Yay! Made it to the top of a cliff. This is, how far can I fall? On land. Oh! Not very far. I already scanned here. Okay. So you can definitely fall further into the water than you can onto the land. Now I'm concerned about being safe on the land. Actually, I remember, I can drop pretty darn far. I'm just really concerned, like that one time when I dropped into the water and there was just, like, a Leviathan immediately. Okay. Whoa. Oh, it's got giant floaters on it. That's legit. Alright, where is my sea moth, though? There you are. Oh, right. I remember. The sea moth was on land. Uh-oh. There you are, sea moth. Sea moth. sea moth. Is my sea moth inside of the island right now? Because I have concerns. Like, I'm pretty sure I left it like right here. I remember this. Well, that's cool. It's kind of like the planet from Avatar. I feel like I probably shouldn't have saved. Like, if my sea moth is gone, I have some questions. Now, the other problem is that I already saved. Am I now gonna have to build a whole other freaking sea moth? Do I have to take this thing all the way home? Do I have to swim all the way home myself? This is a problem. Did they not plan for me to crash the sea moth on land? I don't see it. I don't see it, you guys. I built the sea moth. I crashed the sea moth a little bit, and now let's see when it leaves my radar. See, that seems rude. It was right here. Alright, Game Lords. Okay, I can only get 20 meters from it. So, like, under... beneath now? Nope. Well, this has been fun. Okay. So you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go home. We're gonna go home. We're gonna drown our sorrows in some cured paper. Actually, you know what? We should collect some of this tree stuff just for just for like water. Hopefully the aliens do not kill us in the dead of night. I mean, if I were an alien, I would try and kill people in the dead of night. It just seems... Okay. Alright, well, I guess... now that the island ate my sea moth, I guess we will just leave it here and go home. I wish it doesn't show up in daylight. Is this island just moving? I swear, I parked it right there. Right there. I saw the inlet, I drove the sea moth, we crashed it, and it jumped. It was here. You know what? You just gotta roll with the punches. We know where the sea moth was. We know how to build another sea moth. And we are going to be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're just gonna go home. We're gonna have things to look at, PDAs to review, and we'll be fine. I still have the continuation of the story to tell you. So basically, 6 miles into this hike, that was supposed to be 30 miles, we realized, 2 of us realized, and now my friend Elizabeth had said, like, she was wearing her own socks and it didn't matter, but I wanted to go along with the project of the 15-year-old for her hiking class, so I wore terrible socks for this 30-mile hike. And we had just these ginormous blisters, and so we decided, just like any rational people, that we should definitely continue the rest of the 20-some miles barefoot through the forest for multiple days, and that it would be fine. So we like tied our shoelaces together and slung them over our backpacks and went merrily on our way. And like, we're both people who were like barefoot as often as possible anyways, so it ended up being, it was like whatever. So then we get to the first campsite, and no, we already have lube, we're fine. We're set for lube, we always have lube. You can't be without lube on Subnautica. But we get to the first night's campsite, and we like decide not to take care of any water situation because we were really tired, and we just decided to like set up camp, have some s'mores, eat some food, be happy, and then we like go to bed. And this is when we set up everything. This is when we realized that my friend Elizabeth, although she had demanded that she get to wear her own socks for her own comfort, which was really, really smart, she had also decided to save weight on her backpack by not packing a mat to sleep on, because she was like, I sleep on the hard floor at my house sometimes, but they have carpeting, so it's not like that was that big of a deal. So she also had not packed a very warm sleeping bag, and we ended up being just freezing cold, and the ground was so hard. I said Kasa.
Why do I have to record this anyway?
Oh no.
Location uploaded to PDA.
Let's get Kasa. I don't really want to bury him, but alright, we've got some new stuff. I have a new blueprint, that's exciting. But so it ended up being, ultra high capacity tank. I don't know if I have lithium, but that's really cool. So it ended up being just a horrible night of sleep, because of course as soon as Elizabeth realized that she didn't have a comfortable sleeping mat, she kind of tried to like edge onto mine. So then on top of it being like super duper cold because it's still spring in northern Wisconsin, it was also just a terrible time trying to sleep on the hard ground, regardless of how like cuddly and snuggly that situation sounds. So we like wake up the next morning and we're all just not happy people. So now do I need like a whole other, it's only 175 meters. Do I need to build a whole stinking other sea moth already in my life? What the heck? We'll do it. It's gonna be fine. Frozen? Oh, yes, frozen. So we like wake up, we're like super tired, we forgot to do like water of any sort, and so like we had enough to make oatmeal for breakfast and then to brush our teeth, which made us feel like human beings again. And have a power cell. I can make a titanium ingot. I think I have lead. I have lubricant. We may as well make another friggin' one. It's okay. It'll be fine. I'll be a commodore of sea moths. It will be fine. What do I need for you? Titanium ingot. Now to make a titanium ingot, I need... Is it like 10 titanium? It is. Cool. We use up a whole bunch of titanium too. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 2 glass. We have some lead. We have that. And we just need to go inside, grab some lubricant, and we'll be golden. I have no idea what it's okay. We all have this problem sometimes. You'll be fine. But yeah, so we like head off, and we decide that it'll probably be better on this next day. And so we like hike, and we figure we need to like make a really, like, we don't really want to spend like too much time hiking the next 2 days. We want to just take it easy because we figure that we'll be really sore because we're already really sore from hiking so far the day before, which I think was a generally good idea. So we really try and push it, and then the next day we were in fact really very tired, and we decided to like we ended up trying, I don't know why I'm making copperware. We decided to try and like make some water being that like we were going to cross over through like a stream. So we tried, and it ended up taking just so ridiculously long to use this like water pump thing. And I know we were all thinking it, like, I did not just do that. Okay. We were all thinking it, like, it took like an hour to pump like a liter of water through this stupid thing. And so we just didn't mess around with that too much. We all decided we weren't that thirsty, and off we went hiking for the rest of the day. And, alright, second sea moth. We are not going to crash it, and we're not going to put it on land. This sea moth, stay away, weird. Man, if you don't fart on it, it's like fireworks celebrating it. That's awesome. You christened it. Okay, guys, that's probably enough, though. Alright, I should consider my water situation, too. So, anyhow, fast forward to that afternoon, and we are suddenly, and it's so hot, and we're suddenly finding just everything. I guess that wasn't a really great place to place a grab trap because we don't have any fish. Everything all of a sudden became super hilarious. We just everything seemed so funny. We couldn't stop laughing. And then we finally had the wherewithal to be like, wait a second. We aren't that hilarious people. Like on a normal day, I recognize I'm not that funny. But on this day, I was laughing at my own jokes. I was laughing at jokes that hadn't been told. That's the beauty, I guess, of being underwater. At least we're not smelling it. And we realized that afternoon... Oh, it's one of those horrible things. Good. Fart on her. Perfect. So we realized that we were dehydrated, and we realized that the problem was that we had not, like, filtered enough water. And so we, like, got to the next... Thankfully, there was a, like, stream that we passed by. And I'm looking for bladderfish right now. I'm not completely aimlessly wandering. And so we like got to this stream, like managed to get to this stream, and then we just spent ages and ages there just filtering water and filtering water and drinking water and filtering water. And then we all took a nap that afternoon, and then we decided to like move on with our lives. And then we had another horrible night. So this is the second horrible night. And then we wake up, we brush our teeth again to feel like human beings. We decide we don't want to filter water, we decide to boil water, which is fine. Like, if you boil water for like 15 minutes or so, that pretty much sterilizes it, and it's fine. Now, we didn't have a cover for the pot that we brought, because, you know, you want to save the weight. And we didn't realize how much a cover for the pot that you're sterilizing your water in might matter. But it turned out it did matter, so we like pour all this water. So we boil it, we let it cool, we put it into water bottles. We leave like super, super late from camp that day. And we head out. The water tastes horrible. Also, it's about to rain. So this is the third day. We are super, super tired. Third day, fourth day, Monday, the last day. We're super, super tired. We're still pretty dehydrated, but we have the water that we now sterilized by boiling it in our water bottles. And we try it, and it turns out that not having a cover on our pot made it so that all the smoke and ash from the fire got into it. And we, it tasted like ash. So we had this horrible ash water to drink, and we decided not to drink it. And we were, oops, I don't want to touch those. Just hiking and walking, and then it started raining, and we thought it'll be fine. And we had 2 ponchos, 3 girls. Not helpful. My friend Elizabeth was like, no, it's okay. I have waterproof clothes, so you can take my poncho. So I was like, cool, I'll take your poncho. It'll be fine. So off we trot. We're like singing in the rain, in the woods. It's great. My friend Elizabeth stops singing at some point. She starts complaining. She's like, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you're not having fun? She's like, I need to make water. I'm actually super cold. And I was like, oh, and I look, and she is completely like soaked to the bone. And it's maybe, I mean, the rain, it's not like a warm summer rain. It's not like super duper cold, but it was like 60 degrees, 60, 70 degrees. And then the rain was like cooler than that. So like you can get hypothermia in the rain just from that. And like, that's what was happening as we kept walking. She just kind of kept getting quieter and quieter. Like, first she complained. I really wanted to just like craft a bunch of waters there. That's what that weirdness was. She just complained and complained for a while, and then she got super, super quiet. And then all of a sudden, she like, she kind of started tripping, so I made her walk in front of me, and I was like, oh no, and like, there was almost no reason to give her a poncho at that moment, because like, girl is, you know, she's already drenched, but, you know, why get somebody else wet? But then it was like, what do we even do? So I gave her my poncho. Oh, did I just drop that on the ground? I did. Can we go get it? Did it just fall down here? I think it did. Nope, that's a dead battery. Oh, wow. So I give her the poncho. We try and warm her up. We decide we're not going to hike as far as we originally planned to. So I try and text their dad to come and pick us up at an earlier forest road. Now, we haven't seen anybody on these trails since like the first day that we were hiking. Yeah, that Seamoth is a lie. So like we are totally like on our own out here, and we're barefoot, and one of us is soaking wet. Now, if you don't know this, hypothermia goes in several stages. It starts out with the grumbles, then the fumbles, so like you kind of lose fine motor motion, which is when Elizabeth stopped being able to use her phone, so like I ended up having to text her dad. And then she got into the stumbles. So like all of a sudden she was like stumbling along the trail, and I started to be really freaked out. And I realized we weren't even going to make it to where we had told their dad that we were going to make it, which was a real concern. And then it was just continuing to rain. Like there was no sign of the rain letting up. We're just going to crash this stupid sea moth into everything. That's not where I want to go. There you are. And, so I'm trying to text their dad, like, get us here, at this forest road. The map, of course, at this point, as you would assume, is soaking wet, and difficult to read. So it was really difficult to figure out, like, where exactly we were. I didn't totally know. We're in the middle of the forest, and again, like, now I'm drenched. Elizabeth is drenched, but now she's wearing a poncho, but also now she is like just blue and quiet and can hardly walk, and I'm like, okay, like we just need, oh, those are those horrible things. What are those? There's so many of them. I don't want to go pick up this dead guy. Certainly not at night either. We should save just in case we die.
Biomass in this area is dominated by plant life, picking up faint or tail vehicle signatures. 100 meters. Oxygen.
So I was like, we need to stop. So we like stop and then pull out emergency blankets. We pull out, like we just throw everything out of our backpacks, just trying to find everything and trying to get like shelter. So we make like this little lean-to with the tent, tying it up against a tree. We like, yeah. Oh, does that mean I'm gonna die? Don't know that. Where is my new sea moth? There you are. Okay. I don't want these things to eat me. This is really terrifying in the nighttime. I thought I could handle it because, like, it wasn't that deep, but is there anything else that I needed to get around there? I don't want to go back. So we've got this lean-to. I'm trying to get Elizabeth, like she couldn't untie her shoes by this point. Like, she was so cold. We're trying to, like, get her into, like, a sleeping bag situation. As you know, with hypothermia, you have to, like to field treat it. Basically, you have to, like, get them out of their wet clothes and then into something warm. So I, like, pull out this emergency blanket, which is really just a big, huge foil blanket. And I'm trying to, like, get her wrapped in it and, like, into the sleeping bag. And then her sister is also totally drenched now because we use ponchos as part of this, like, lean-to. And so then we're, like, dead in the middle of the forest. I'm, like, trying to text her dad. The text isn't going through. Battery on my phone is dying. Like, every wrong thing has happened at this point. And I'm just, like, like, we're in the middle of the woods. 3 totally drenched girls. We're, like, and so cold. It won't stop raining. And, like, we have no way to build a fire. Like, just all of our gear is so completely wet and just sort of, like, strewn about. And, like, their dad's not coming and might not be, it is likely not coming to the right forest road anyways because we can't read this super wet map. And so I end up just, like, putting my backpack in the middle. We make it to a forest road, so there's, like, roads that cross-hatch the whole area. We make it to this forest road, and that's where, like, the lean-to and everything got built. And I just, like, put my backpack right in the middle of it. And then I go and I just, like, lay with them in our little lean-to, and they're just like, we're gonna die. Like, we haven't seen anybody in days. We're just in the middle of the woods. Their dad doesn't know where we are. My phone is dead. And then, like, I hear this, like, vehicle, which can be, I mean, it was like, I don't know. It was like seeing the sun come up for the first time in ages. And I thought, this is it, we're saved. And I go out there, and it's this truck, and the window is down. Like, this guy's just looking around from inside of this truck. And he is clearly bewildered. And so I like trot out like and to like say, "Oh, thank goodness you're here." And I mean, like, very rarely should you completely helpless wander up to a random man in a random truck in the middle of the woods in northern Wisconsin, but times were dire. So I like scramble up and like, I haven't told you this, but I was wearing a shirt that said probably up to something. And so as I'm like running up to this dude's truck, I see the window just and I realize like I shouldn't just be that eager. So I run up to him and I'm like, "Hey, please don't kidnap us, but," and I tell him everything that happens, and he just looks at me like, "How is it possible that you were in this bad of a situation?" Ultra glide fins. Hey, I have all this. I don't know if I have this one. So, long story short, at this point, he completely rescues us. Like, turns the heat on high. We just throw all of our super wet stuff into his truck. We get Elizabeth in there. She ends up being okay. He's got water that doesn't taste like ash. And we are so grateful. And he actually takes us back to our car, which was really cool. So their dad didn't even have to come and get us. And we ended up being like totally saved and alright and still alive. So yeah, that's my near-death story. I think that we might need to be ending this stream soon anyways. It's difficult to see how long it's been. Okay. Maybe we'll go for like an hour and a half. I think so. Let's make some batteries. Just a bunch of batteries. I saw that before. Okay. Oh, titanium. Cool. So, I guess we're not gonna have a base this time. But we have 2 sea moths, which angers me just a little bit. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I should be doing right now. Like, I went and I got that guy. The guy wasn't there. Is there a new message? There's no new message. I guess I could look at this. Altera vehicle signatures. So that's cool. Whoa. Lifepod 13. Wow, okay, this person was pretty out there. Kazar. Okay. Like, everything that you find, and I mean, I get it, we had a crash landing, like, but everything on here just seems sad. Don't let them down. And then there's an explosion. Shoot. Captain, you need to evacuate. Come with me. You don't leave me much choice. The rendezvous was a failure. Okay. They sent a data package to the Aurora, intercepted by a Leviathan-class Predator before we could reach the ship. shoot. So, that's that. Ooh, codes and clues. Transmission origin. Life pod located at sea level. The pod is in close proximity to radioactive fallout. I have a radiation suit, so we'll be fine. Yeah, I'm glad I'm still alive too. But yeah, I think that's really the only cool time that I almost died. Everything else was just like stupidity. So, I mean, like nearly falling off of things, nearly crashing into things, apparently driving my sea moth into rocks. 150 meters northwest of the Aurora's port midsection. So now they're giving me cardinal directions, which brings me all the way back to like my day one need, which is a compass. Attach coordinates. All of the coordinates are always corrupted. Approximately 100 meters. Dense red grass. Transmission origin, 400 meters west-northwest of the life pod's last known location. Okay, so that pretty much... oh, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely one of those things that, like, in the long run, I feel like I'm better friends with the girls that I went with, but also I have not been backpacking since because it gets you. It's definitely, alright, I definitely collected way too much. It's so easy to just end up collecting too much acid, you know? And I'll drop the dead battery. Okay, so I've got diamonds, that's cool. What do I need for a compass again? I need a wiring kit, which seems dumb. Like, really, I just need a magnet and some water. And water is in, you know, it's not scant supply. Where's the thing for a compass? Is it all the way up here? I swear, I have seen it. I've looked at it, I've said I need one of you. Am I scrolling right by it? There it is. Okay, and I need a wiring kit. I knew that. Wiring kit. Ah, oh, silver. Do I really want to spend the extra time to go and get silver? You know what? I guess. Since everything has these cardinal directions going on, we may as well go mine some silver ore. Get our silly, silly compass, because then we can do things like west, northwest, and south, southeast. That's what. Alright. So, I guess the moral of the backpacking story is, if you're going to go backpacking, you should have multiple ways to purify water so that you don't almost dehydrate to death. You should wear your own socks so that you don't get... Oh, that was another thing. By the time we got back, our feet were horribly infected. We didn't have to take, like, antibiotics or anything, but it was definitely time to be out of that environment. Like, I mean, stepping in puddles and dirt and stuff for a whole weekend with an open wound, essentially, on your foot was... just another in the, like, cascade of bad decisions that we made. Haha! What do you think? Uh-oh. You're gonna get me killed by one of those stupid things. Yeah, isn't it cool, Botany Brain? I feel like I'm actually in the game. Sebo set it up for me. Like... yesterday, I think, was the official setup. You wear 2 socks. Like 2 sets of socks? Or like a sock on each foot? I feel like dumb for clarifying this. Like 2 sets of socks? Oh, we're wearing one. Okay, gotcha. Good call. Good call. Socks, hiking, big deal. And iodine tablets. Important, also. Iodine tablets, socks, and you'll be fine. You will live forever. Also, don't confuse the difference between water resistant and waterproof. Bring a cover for your pot if you're going to be cooking things, and bring enough ponchos for all the people that you're with. Also bring a mat to sleep on, and don't try and be a badass. And maybe wear a shirt that says something a little more benign than probably up to something. But you know what? I'm sure that most backpacking experiences go well. And mine was just one of those things. Oh! No, don't explode on me! It's okay. I guess we should go up further anyway. But there's so much stuff inside of that cave. Be like, making sure nothing's gonna eat me. Are you like trying to say, Botany Bay, that you would do a better job? Alright. That looks really fun too. But I guess, you know what, I can just build some more storage containers. It'll be fine. I can't wait till I can build like a whole giant, oh, my inventory's full. Locker. A whole giant locker would be really cool. Okay, we're just gonna... I don't know what to drop. This sucks. Let's just go see if any of this ends up being silver. Because if it ends up being silver, you sleep on rocks all the time. No big deal. Really interesting place. Okay, those guys are already open. So I've sort of been here before, maybe? Let's see. I really want there to be silver. Oh no! Aha! We beat him. It was fine. You know, I honestly always think that I'm gonna sleep way better camping than I do, and then we go camping, and regardless of backpacking or like anything, like last year I went camping, and like I was even on like, and it was not a really thick memory foam, but it was like a fairly thick memory foam, like matte, and I still... And I mean, I guess this makes me feel a little bit like fancy about my sleep situation. But I struggled. It was not, and I mean, it was still worth camping. And it was nowhere near what it had been before. Because I definitely don't make any bones about bringing warm clothing and blankets and stuff now. Especially since you're not backpacking, you don't need to worry about the, like, whack. But you don't need to worry about, how much weight you're bringing with you. Then I'm just going to bring blankets all day long. Okay. There is no silver ore in this weird cave place. I can't pretend to be excited, or not disappointed rather. I keep accidentally going towards that old sea moth. like there was a point where I had silver. I guess I should check all of my boxes again just to see if I have silver already. Maybe I already do. I know I have diamond, I know I have gold, I know I have lead. Maybe I have silver. Maybe in one of my million storage boxes. Nope. Oh. Salt. Okay. Silver. Okay, so I'm gonna put yours in here. I got 1 silver, so that's good news. I'll put more titanium in there. So I need 4 to make another box. Let's check on you. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna fill you with copper and some quartz. Here's all titanium. No silver. Do I only have 1 silver? That's gonna make me so sad. Already looked in you. Already looked in you. Maybe? Yeah. Okay. There's got to be a better way to organize these stupid boxes. Okay, that's the one that had silver the first time. Guess we can pick up the food. Silver! Hey, look at that. We can build a compass. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the compass and I'm going to end the stream. I think that that's what we're going to do. We built a SEMA and we're going to have a compass. I think 2 things is enough. And also we found another island and we found a bunch of PDAs. I think that really that's all we need to do for the day. I'm happy. I'm happy. A compass. Ta-da! Now do I have to equip it? I don't know if there's anything else cool that I can make. Another scanner. Should really make another locker. I'll think myself later, I'm sure of it. Okay. That was probably super. Oh! Hey! So does that mean when I just... Look at this. It just attaches to my suit and is awesome. So that's really cool. So now I can be instead of just basing all of my navigation off of the Aurora, I can just... This is cool. Alright. I like this. Feathers box. We'll just end up with a whole... Good stuff. Alright. Alright. We'll end up in here. Oh, we will eat some food and some water. I guess next time we will collect more water. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. This has been fun. I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like we were productive. Next time, we're going to get a base. Have a good night. See you later, Lewis. See you, Botany Bay. And I'll see you next time. Alright. Night, Sebo.